Rhode Island National Guard is being called in to help the state as COVID cases surge. Good evening, I'm Shannon HEGY.
I'm Mike Montecalvo. Governor Dan McKee announcing this afternoon that he's remobilizing 180 National Guard members to help with vaccination, testing, and to provide support to hospitals.
We are in discussions with the hospital in terms of what that could, look like. But we also understand that, for instance, we had one hospital that had a couple security guards pulled from the National Guard and placed somewhere else, but they were security guards at one of the hospitals. So we want to make sure that it's not a zero-sum game here, that we're taking people that are coming from one healthcare setting and then pushing them into another, because that doesn't work.
The Guard began helping in Central Falls today. Meantime, a state-run testing site at Chapel View in Cranston has now moved to Sockanosset Crossroad near the mass vaccination clinic. For some people with appointments, they were surprised to find out the site had moved.
12 News reporter Anita Buffoni spoke to some of those people. She joins us now from the control room with the details.
Moving the Chapel View testing site to a much larger location will help accommodate more appointments. The state making the move to help alleviate issues with getting a test. The governor announced today he is also remobilizing 180 National Guard members to help with testing and vaccinations. From here to there, the Chapel View testing site has moved down the road to the Sockanosset Crossroad location in the opposite side of the building as the mass vaccination clinic.
And I didn't know anything about this location being changed.
For Jamestown resident David Esmond, a 45-minute drive to get a test was his only option.
I don't know.
The Chapel View testing site opened 2 weeks ago.
So he's never sent me a notification that there was a new location.
For others like Herbert Golder, the minor inconvenience didn't bother him much.
Things happen. So I'm not frustrated. I'm just going over there now to get a test.
The health department says the Chapel View location had 450 scheduled tests each day. By moving to the Sockanosset Crossroads site, it can now handle 600 tests daily. Only rapid tests are being offered at the Sockanosset location for those with and without COVID-19 symptoms. The Department of Health says they hope to boost the number of appointments at Sockanosset Crossroad to 1,000 per day by the end of this week. Unlike other testing sites throughout the state that have long lines, the Sockanosset site didn't have a lot of people waiting Tuesday afternoon. Now, today was the first day that site moved to the much larger Sockanosset Crossroad location, and appointments are required. If you need to know how to make one, you can find all of that listed on our website, WPRI.com. I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.
And for tests is still high in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts, many looking for tests. So the Ocean State is moving the testing site at Chapel View in Cranston. 12 News reporter Anita Buffoni tells us about it.
COVID testing appointments are hard to come by, but for those who did score an appointment at a state-run site for today, they were surprised to learn when they showed up that that testing location had moved.
I don't know.
David Esmond drove 45 minutes from Jamestown to get a test at the Chapel View testing site in Cranston, only to find this sign on the door. The site has now moved down the street to where the field hospital used to be.
45-minute drive and out here to get service, really, something that we should be able to get much closer.
And David wasn't alone. Herbert Golder and his wife had an appointment Tuesday afternoon and say they weren't notified of the change in location, but the last-minute change didn't bother Herbert.
How can I be frustrated? Things happen.
The Chapel View testing site opened 2 weeks ago. The health department says it had 450 scheduled tests each day. By moving to the Sockanosset Crossroads site, it can now handle 600 tests daily. Only rapid tests are being offered at the Sockanosset location for those with and without COVID-19 symptoms.
Was this the closest thing I could get, and this was the first day I could get.
Tuesday was the first day the location had moved, and unlike other testing sites throughout the state that have long lines, the Sockanosset site didn't have a lot of people waiting Tuesday afternoon. Appointments are required. They can be made online at portal.ri.gov. And the Department of Health tells me they plan on boosting the number of appointments at that Sockanosset Crossroad location to 1,000 tests per day by the end of this week. I'm Anita Buffoni, 12 News.